Yo, what the heck is going on, everybody? Welcome in to your Kind of Funny Gamescast for May 21st, 2025. It's a lovely Wednesday, aka Hump Day.
Hump Day!
And it's Mike and Roger to get you over the hump. And looking forward to the second half of the week.
That fucking hurt. You know what I mean? Like, what's the level of Mike giving you a high five or a low five?
I love
That's
giving
abuse.
a good, crisp high five. It's my passion in life.
You want to hurt me. I know you do.
One of my top 5 passions, giving a nice, crisp high five. You see it through and you just...
Yeah, but like, do the low five. Do the low five.
I mean?
But do it how you did it to me.
Bear gets it. You know
he
what I
likes,
mean?
he likes the pain.
You gotta get a nice, crispy high five to start your day sometimes. And of course, that's what Mike and Roger are gonna give you during today's Kind of Funny Gamescast, because today we're talking about our Death Stranding experience. Yeah, it's 2025, and we're gearing up and getting ready for Death Stranding
that's
2.
The year. That's
well,
the
I mean,
year.
it's like, people are like, you didn't play this in 2019, Roger?
I couldn't have told you what year this game came
with the
out.
rest of with everybody else?
No.
No, we're different, Roger.
Exactly.
That's why we're bringing the hype in 2025.
Exactly. I thought I was above Death Stranding when I saw Die Hard, man.
You thought you
and I
were
saw
above it.
Mama, and I saw these dumb names. I'm like, why would I play that stinker? And I play it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my whole life has changed before my eyes.
I said
get
I'm
it.
too dumb to understand this game. And then we played it, and I said, I love this game.
Yeah. I'm the right amount of dumb.
I'm in this here. Like, I'm a jabroni that will just walk, okay? And, like, I did that. So, Roger, we're going to talk
So,
about...
no. Before we do that, how have you gotten away with playing all of the Metal Gear Solid games except for 5? Not playing all the Metal...
Barrett played
all those,
yeah.
and then also Death Stranding, which you did not play.
And then you did actually play Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, that's the one he had to play.
Decidedly without
Yeah, that was
me.
pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I was pretty fucked up. That and the
I got
Baldur's Gate
lost in the sauce
situation.
on that one. Well, here's the deal on this one, Roger. A lot of people were like, Mike, you didn't want to play? Mike, why didn't you grab the controller? And I did. I really wanted to grab the controller.
didn't.
But I didn't want you to take away my shine, because I know all the jabronis out there watching and listening know if I took a step off of that treadmill and let you walk, they would have said, oh, well, Mike didn't actually walk step for step with Sam Porter Bridges.
I think there was a lot of people already saying that.
I ensured.
Anytime I tuned into that stream, were you sitting down looking at a big TV ordering food? Maybe.
Breathing heavily into the microphone. And so I ensured that through the entire thing. I mean, just so everybody knows out there who are watching and listening, you know, we got to day 3. I guess it's day 2, but day 3.
Yeah.
It was Sunday heading into Monday.
Yeah, Friday,
and Roger
Saturday,
knew I
Sunday.
was dying, right? Like, my feet were tightening up. The soles of my feet were burning.
Yeah.
My yams were looking good, though. They were strong and solid.
Yeah.
And he's like, Mike, like, let me walk for you. I can see you're in pain. Like, please, just take a seat. Let me do this. And I looked at you, Roger. I said, absolutely not. I will walk the entire
No, you
time.
did the Mike thing where you said, no, I'll tell you the time. Yeah, I'll tell you the time. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Never.
Never. That's right. So, did I get to play this? No. Did I want to play this? Yes. But did I do it for the content? Of course. And so we're going to talk about the content and what we created during our Death Stranding marathon stream that just happened last weekend.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about our Death
And we
Stranding
finished it last
experience.
night.
We finished it last night, so we're going to talk about all things Death Stranding and our excitement for Death Stranding 2. So today's Kind of Funny Gamescast is all about Death Stranding, and we want to share your experience with us. So make sure to super chat away if you're watching live on YouTube and or Twitch. Give us some of your favorite moments from Death Stranding 1. Tell us some of the things that you're looking forward to in Death Stranding 2. We're going to talk about all that and everything in between, because this is the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we get together to talk about the biggest reviews, previews, and topics in the video game world live on YouTube, Twitch, and of course later on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, consider supporting us with the Kind of Funny membership available on Patreon, YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get your daily exclusive show, Greg Way. For a chance to be part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as super chats as we go. Don't forget, we're Kind of Funny. We're an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. Today, during Kind of Funny Games Daily, Greg and Tim talked about, is Xbox up right now? Are they winning?
Are they up right now?
We'll talk about it. Of course,
Suck
they
right
talked
now.
about it. Go check it out. After this, the stream will be Greg playing Outer Worlds for their re-review coming up very soon.
Oh.
Greg, Andy, and Stella, I believe, are all replaying The Outer Worlds to get ready for Obsidian's next big RPG of the year, which is crazy to say, Avowed into Outer Worlds 2.
Crazy.
They're going to be talking about it on the re-review. So today's afternoon stream is Greg playing the game. You can get in your questions, getting your thoughts about the game with him live over on Twitch and on YouTube. Of course, if you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Greg Way is Greg Miller talking about The Last of Us now that he's a dad.
Oh.
And you know what? We're going to talk about dads in this game, too.
A lot of dads.
And I wonder what Greg thinks about being a dad after playing Death Stranding, because, like, you're my future. You're my bridge to the future, Roger. You're my son now.
Oh, okay. Where does Mads Mikkelsen play into all this?
We'll talk about that. Of course, thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney Twining. Thank you to our sponsors, Subway Surfers and Factor, but I'll tell you all about them later. Let's jump into the show. Roger, let's talk about our Death Stranding experience. Kick me off. Thank you. I forgot about that.
Where do you want to start, Mikey? I mean, I guess we should just start with like the start of the marathon stream, kind of like where that came from.
People like, what the idea was. What did we actually do? Maybe people didn't watch it and they don't care. So like, what should we tell them about?
So in the beginning of this year, for Kind of Funny Day, we had a bunch of promises and kind of laid out the next year of Kind of Funny with a few big events. Right, we talked about Game Showdown, we talked about top 100 games of all time, and one of the things that we mentioned that we were going to do this year was a Death Stranding walkathon marathon stream. A literal marathon stream where for every step that Sam Porter Bridges makes, Stonebike Mike will also make that step. In order, of course, going back to the bit, if you don't know already, that Mike is a hardened athlete. He attempted or had a thought, or at least was going to run a marathon, half marathon with me. Okay. The half marathon
and a t-shirt.
The half marathon got rained out, so then everyone got the medal, including myself, who also didn't run it. But Mike didn't do no training, was not planning on going to that event. But you know, he swears that he could have done it.
Slept like a baby. I dreamt about it.
You're running the marathon in your sleep every single night, just tossing and turning. So that was the idea behind this stream. And also, of course, I had the honor of meeting Kojima and the Caroline Polachek connection, which is very exciting, and like it's happening for the sequel. So I wanted to play Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 1. I've never played a Kojima game full through other than Peace Walker.
Wow.
Which is a weird one, and half of Metal Gear Solid 5. So I wanted to really put my time in and actually play Death Stranding, and I wanted to do it in some type of marathon stream because I know if I start, I'm probably going to stop halfway through and then never actually finish it. So I wanted that accountability. So I wanted to sit down with you, or I guess stand up with you, and have you walk and I play. And I thought that was create something special and something unique. And Mike, we freaked it. We absolutely did that for Friday, starting at I believe 2 p.m. all the way until Sunday, ending at 3:30 a.m.
3:30 a.m.
We completely went crazy, and we were just in this room ordering a lot of food. We'll probably do a tier list of all the food that we ordered and ate during this entire weekend.
You gotta eat big, be big. That's
you
what I'm
gotta
saying.
eat big. You got to carb load. People say you carb load before the marathon.
Yeah.
We carb load during the marathon.
Yeah.
We were taking, they have the water stations where like the kids hand you like the Gatorade or whatever. People were handing us fucking Red Robin's fries. It was incredible. We needed to be our biggest supporters. So we just went crazy on this weekend, and we played the entire game, most of the game. I think we had chat said by the time we finished it, they said, "Oh, you only have 3 hours left," and then we proceeded to do a 7-hour stream to finish it off yesterday.
Well,
how
much of the intro was ordering more food?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's again, you have to carb load, right?
You gotta carb load.
Even though Mike wasn't walking during the last one, we got to carb load.
We needed to figure out what these corn dogs were all about.
Yeah. Again, we will do a ranking by the ending of this, so which is the best dinners that we had. But I was very excited about this because I wanted to play this game and it looked interesting.
Yeah.
And Mike, I don't know what your impressions of this game are, or like what you came into it with. Like, you played a little bit of Death Stranding on the stream a while ago.
It was a special one for me because I'm a person who tried Death Stranding and I put it down.
Yeah.
When I first played it, it wasn't for me. I usually don't vibe with these kind of slower games, and so I put it down, and I watched Miles Luna, who I got the idea from, to do the walkathon marathon stream. And when you said, "Oh, I want to be prepared for Death Stranding 2," I thought, man, this is the perfect win-win scenario, right? Me and Roger both get to play the game together, and we can do a walkathon marathon stream. So, like, let's make great content out of this. And so I pushed you hard of, let's do this in one weekend. And you said, Mike, like, why don't we just try one little 10-hour stream, see if it's a hit or not, and we'll go from there. And I pushed you of like,
You're right.
no, let's sit in the room and let's play it all the way through. I think the audience will vibe with it. We're a month and a half away from Death Stranding 2. There's no better time for people to get caught up, to get you and I prepared, and kind of build the excitement for it. And also, you know, that's kind of my role here, is to try to find fun and engaging ways to create content on the live stream side of things that our audience can have fun with, the team can have fun with. And it just seemed like a perfect blend of you and I together all weekend long. Minimal resources, right? Greg, Tim, we only called Barrett about 7 times, you know, so
No,
really
0
bothered him
times.
a couple of times.
We
One
called you
time.
for help, but we didn't want to bother you.
Yeah.
It was too late. It was too late.
Never
For the
bother him.
celebratory thing, the nice thing, you know, didn't want to call me then.
We did call Blessing. He now has confirmed that he saw the call coming
Yeah.
in. Like, he was there. He was actively looking at his phone and then decided
Yeah.
to say no.
And so for me, it was exciting, right? This is exactly what I wanted to do as something on the content side of things for Kind of Funny. I thought it was going to be really fun and exciting. And then on the flip side, I get to experience Death Stranding, right? Play, in quotes there. But like, really, I get to experience Death Stranding with you, one of my best friends, and also prepare for Death Stranding too. And so for me, it was like, this is a win-win. Let's see where it goes. And it turned out to be an experience of a lifetime, Roger.
Yeah,
This is
absolutely.
something that I will laugh at, giggle in my mind, and remember forever, of you and I starting on Friday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and just kind of experiencing it moment by moment, where it was going to go. How much will I walk? How little will I walk? How long is a Kojima cutscene in a
Yeah.
walking simulator game? We learned they're pretty long.
Pretty long.
But then we also learned that Roger doesn't follow the simplest
All right,
path,
all
okay?
right.
Because here's the problem,
All
Chad.
right, everybody.
Roger's talking a lot. He's chirping a lot about like, oh, Mike, you didn't play the game, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, if I played that game, I would be cutting paths that people have never seen before, Roger. I would be following the most efficient paths from point A to point B. There you are, Roger, looking at your best friend, Snowbike Mike on a treadmill, dying, right? Please, Roger, give me a break. Can you just get to point A to point B? And you are out here taking the most inefficient routes possible, scaling up the side of a mountain, finding invisible walls, getting lost on detours where we just needed to go and deliver the package. But goddamn, did it make for some great content.
You know, what's your name? Snowbike Mike?
Yeah.
I thought it was Snow Bitch Mitch
Yeah.
for a minute there. I didn't realize that you weren't a hardened athlete, that you couldn't figure it out, because I see the vision, right?
Yeah.
I see the vision. I'm trying to find the area of the most friction, but also the least friction. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to go up the mountain to go down the mountain.
Yeah.
So you're trying to go around the mountain. That's gonna prolong your hurt. I just want to go up it and then down it. So I figured it out, and that's going into it really quick. If we're talking about the game itself,
Yeah.
I forget who said it in chat, but it was such a clicking moment for me and why I was digging this game so much. And if I'm at the point now where, of course, we have the sequel, so I shouldn't probably go back and replay some of it, but I really want to, because the chatter said this game is going to picking up your groceries from the car and bringing it all into the house in one trip simulator.
Yes.
That's what it is, and that is something as I feel like that's like a dude thing, like you know what I mean, like
Very
a dad
dude-coded, yeah.
dude thing, right? Where it's like, oh, I got this, don't worry, honey, and it's like, I have free hands, I can help you. Oh no, I got this, and you just take everything in your hand. You're about to fall, you're about to break the eggs, but you do it anyways, and you're like, oh, look how cool am I? That's what this game was for me, and it was such a great experience trying to basically do the things that I do in Skyrim, right? Where I'm just like, I'm like breaking the fucking geometry.
Yes.
I'm finding all the little rocks that I can go up that the developers didn't really design this for, but I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to go around it. Like, I was breaking this game so much that I found fucking invisible walls.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were invisible walls in this game, but we found it. We climbed up a mountain and they were like, yo, you can't go up this fucking
No
mountain.
more.
You got to stop going up this mountain. And for me, that is the stuff that I really clicked with that I didn't realize or even think that I would even click with. I thought I would be a story person.
Yeah.
I thought the story was going to be the thing that made me keep on going throughout this, 50-hour experience. But instead, it was actually the gameplay of it. And if I were to do it over again, I absolutely would, because now I see the vision. Now I get it, everybody. I should have built roads. I get it. I should have built a few zip lines here and there. But once I actually figured out, I should have been building zip lines, and I actually did it for the first time, fucking clicked everything into my mind, and this was this gameplay experience is something special.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part about making it a live stream and content, and kind of knowing that your best friend is walking the entire time. Like, we can't sit around and kind of look out and map out what you want to do, because this game is really fascinating, right? It is a true just open world, and you choose how you want to go and attack it, and then they give you tools that will help you elevate that throughout, right? Of like, hey, let's make this a more efficient and easier, where you can build a road, then you can ride your motorcycle on it, or we can make these zip lines that will conquer all of the terrain, and you just fly over it. And it's like, when you're making content and it's supposed to be for the laughs, and it's also like, hey, Mike is dying on this, and we only have so many hours in the day.
And you're screaming at me as I'm trying to go up a mountain.
We cannot just sit there and utilize the tools that are given to us. You miss out on a lot, and it's wild to think of, like, we did it. I think a lot of people get caught up in the first one at the beginning of the game, and I found this the most fascinating. It's like, they give you 3 paths, and you kind of go, oh, okay, like, I see the vision. But then after that, they just like, good luck, figure it out. You can go any way you want. And then they build on that of like, now you can build all these things. I found that so fascinating and cool, that it's just the ultimate sandbox of go whatever you want to do, try to climb this. Roger's got too many boxes on the back of his head, and he's in a cave, and he's swaying left and right.
And I'm hitting the ceilings of things, and the boxes are falling down.
It was cool.
Yeah, it's
gameplay-wise, it was cool.
Absolutely. The word that I kept on going back to was meditative. Right, even though I'm on a stream and it is like flashing light, like bright lights in my face. Mike is walking. It smells like burnt rubber because we're burning this fucking treadmill the entire time.
Yeah.
I did have that sense of like, oh, if I had this and a glass of wine, I could just do this all night. Like, I can just really take my time, and it kind of reset me as like a gamer a little bit, because for me, I'm the person that it is a nightmare to watch me play a video game most of the time, because my fiance, she doesn't play video games like that. So like, she watches a lot of the gaming experiences as like a spectator, right? I'm the one in the controlling seat. I'm the one playing the game. And as she watches me, she's like, you got to stop fucking running around. Yeah. You got to stop pressing the L3. You got to stop swinging the camera around like you have no attention to anything. Like, I'm always running and going from here to here, not really focusing on anything, trying to find, getting lost. For this, it is, you're from here to here. You're going across the country. All you have to do is just take your fucking time.
Yeah.
Just take your time, build a rope. Like, there is nothing in between there. Of course, there's sometimes when, an enemy pops up and a fucking BT attacks you and you're freaking out and it's annoying. But other than that, you just have to take your time. You got to just think about what you're doing here. And the journey in the gameplay is the journey, right? It is going from point A to point B. It is not just for the first time in a video game in a very long time, I didn't think of going from point A to point B as a chore. I thought that is the game, right? That is the fun of the game. And that is kind of the most subversive thing that I didn't expect from a Kojima game. I didn't expect that the traversal was going to be such a key part of the fun of the game.
What a fun time, Roger. I had something on the top of my head, but I've forgotten it. But it was so much fun to watch you work through things, watch you explore this world, and kind of be a passenger alongside your decision making. I think that's the fun part when we always talk about it's always a nightmare to watch someone play a video game, because you're thinking of 5 different things they're not thinking of, or you want to go some other way. So it's always fun to see what people decide and what you decided to do. I'll never forget most of our treks took about 15 minutes. Some of the longer ones were like 24 to 30, might have been the longest one. But somehow Roger, on a normal trek that's supposed to be like 13 minutes, took 45 minutes. And that was just him exploring, wanting to conquer the terrain, wanting to have his own story. And I think that's a really cool part about this. And on top of that, right, you're in this world that is kind of experiencing this insane situation going on with the timefall and the start of Death Stranding, right? And it's like nobody's out there, right? The only people out there are porters similar to you that are moving packages and supplies to different areas. There's also the bad guys with Higgs, but like, it's wild of like, there's nothing, not even wildlife in this world. And so it is a very empty world. And when that music swells up and you crest that first peak and see a vista, or you go to some, the big, where we burned your mother's corpse there, the big furnace or whatever.
The incinerator.
It's like, oh man, like these are cool. And the art style in this game is wicked dope.
Yeah, man. It's hyper realistic, but it doesn't, it rarely, I should say, gets to the uncanny valley. Right? We have characters and people that I know, right? I've seen their faces in movies and television, and their directors. We have Guillermo del Toro in this. We have Mads Mikkelsen, but I was very rarely creeped out by like, oh, that's Mads Mikkelsen, but he's in a video game and he's not real. But it's like they have created this world that feels so effortless, and I think I stand by this. We were having that discussion during the stream where I was like, I think this might be like top 5 best looking video games ever made. And you were like, no way. And then we started talking through it and we're like, oh, maybe it is. Like I at least totally think this is my top 5, probably top 3, honestly. Best looking, highest fidelity video games ever made, because the stuff that they were able to do, especially when it came to the terrain of this world, like the moss on these rocks like look photorealistic, and I just can't. I'm so excited to see what Death Stranding 2 is, specifically when it comes to that and the visual fidelity of it. Because man, it looks so good in 2019. 6 years later, holy shit! I'm sure that they're doing some crazy stuff with the Decima engine.
That
right?
Decima engine is
Decima
awesome.
engine
Is
is
right.
crazy.
I love the crazy collabs that he had with Conan and the cosplayer.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Him with the weird otter hat was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's wild that there's so much to this game, and like you and I, we learned a lot. We didn't do much of it, but like it's crazy that there's an otter hat that you can put on that helps Sam Porter Bridges swim a little bit more. You got a crazy exosuit that you can put on. You can build these roads, and it's like, well, we didn't build any roads, but man, when we jumped on other people's roads,
Sick.
that was awesome. And
Thank
the
you to
idea of,
everybody
like,
who built those.
the online connection is cool too, right? Of like you start and you don't really see that, then out of nowhere it's like, oh well, here's somebody else's rope that they like took this path and they're gonna help you out. Oh, later on in the game, 20 hours in, here's this guy's road that he built out and like really thought about. And it's like that's really awesome too. So I loved like all of a sudden you started integrating like other people's buildings and we shared this world that was our world, but also like we started connecting the knots.
It works as a great tutorial. Right, where you're walking around this world and like someone like me who was not building anything at first, right, seeing the amazing creations and the smart designs that people were building out, right, where someone, I think I used someone else's zipline for the first time. That was how I was introduced to the zipline, even though they wrote it and they said you can use the zipline. But I'm like, how far can a zipline go, right? You jump on someone else's zipline for the first time. They very smartly, I don't know how they built this out, but they do it in a great way where, you know, if you don't have anything built in a certain area, they're going to put something there from someone's online experience and throw it there and show you, hey, listen, you could be using these things. And you hop on the zipline for the first time and you're like, oh, this is how I could be doing this. I could be building out an entire world. So it works as both working into like the themes of the game, as we'll talk about, right? Like connection and, all these different people that are connecting and throwing different zip lines and roads. So it works in that sense, but it also works as tutorializing the entire experience, which is great.
We didn't get to see Jeff Keighley.
No, we didn't.
Disappointed on that one.
Come on. We should
Saw Herman.
Shaw Herman.
That was pretty lit.
Conan, of
we
course.
Saw Conan, that's right. Then there's a bunch of big names that he brought in. An awesome cast. A small cast, but an awesome cast, Roger. And I want to talk about the cast right after a word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Subway Surfers, the goated endless runner that carried me through middle school, high school, college, and now adulthood is celebrating their 13th birthday, which also marks their 200th World Tour update. And they're going big because Subway Surfers decided to travel to not one, not two, but 21 different locations in their 200th World Tour special event. As Kinda Funny's resident Zoomer, I can seriously say that I adore Subway Surfers. It's one of my favorite comfort games. Grabbing items, completing challenges, and pulling out a hoverboard right as I'm about to hit a train feels just as good now as it did when I was sitting in the back of Mr. Coburn's Spanish class. Play through all 21 destinations to unlock amazing rewards such as characters, hoverboards, and in-game currency. Just tap the 200th World Tour button on the screen to start playing. And exclusively for best friends, head over to kindafunny.com/Subway Surfers or scan the QR code on screen to get a ton of special in-game rewards. The update ends on June 1st, so scan that QR code, download Subway Surfers, and start running if you don't want to miss out on all the rewards. I already did. This episode is brought to you by Factor. When life gets busy, food can sometimes feel like a chore, and the fast food trips can go from a weekly to daily occurrence very very fast. So buck those trends and make this season your best with nutritious 2-minute meals from Factor. Eating well has never been this easy. Just heat up and enjoy, giving you more time to do what you want. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. We at Kinda Funny love Factor meals. Bless and Greg love it for a quick lunch in between shows, and I adore it as a healthier alternative instead of the dreaded hump day, too tired to cook, drive-through run, helping me to get on track with my goals. Get started at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off and use code kindafunny50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code kindafunny50 off at factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Factormeals.com/kindafunny50 off.
All right, so we talked about our experience over the weekend. Me walking, you playing, us eating a lot of food,
So much food.
late nights, a lot of laughter.
Talk about Chad Kroger.
Yeah, I'm sending an email too. Might change my life.
Mike's reaching out and making some connections of his own. We learned about it. Him
Yeah.
and Lenny Kravitz.
I'm
They're
gonna throw the phone in the ocean.
30
Change my
days,
life.
30 days on his compound in Peru.
There's some moments here that gotta be found inside of there. Or maybe if you just watch it, you'll enjoy and laugh, because there was some great times together.
And the
Roger.
entire thing is going to go up this Saturday. It is actually processed. It's going up. So on YouTube, you can check it out. Saturday, I'll probably throw it up at like 6 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
Get it up super early for the East Coast people.
Watched a lot of KFAF episodes.
Oh,
Shout
dude,
out
so
to Nick
many.
and Andy
Shout out
for
to them.
letting
really carrying the
us watch
stream
that.
on the
Yeah.
back.
Really carrying
We
us.
had to get a written notice from them.
Exactly. We had to get approval from those two to play some old episodes. And so, yeah, it was a really special experience to share with you, Roger, our incredible audience of Kind of Funny best friends. So I encourage everybody to check out the VOD that will go up this weekend, watch the finale that also happened last night. But I think another cool part is we talk about the gameplay, Roger, but there's a wild story going on. And I think at first you kind of get hit with it, and there's a lot to take in. By the middle, there's a lot of questions. And by the end, you're riding this roller coaster of like, holy cow, it's going down.
Yeah.
Kojima's back again.
Yeah.
But it's also carried by a really cool cast of characters.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that was surprising to me. Right, as I mentioned earlier, I put my nose up, I thumbed my nose at the idea of like, oh, these characters are named Fragile and Die Hard Man and Dead Man. I was like, what a strange idea. But by the ending of this, I'm like, this is my crew, right?
Yeah.
Like this is absolutely my crew, and I fuck with all of them in different ways. And now I'm at the place where, man, we've watched I'm sure we've seen the trailers for Death Stranding 2, right? I'm sure you've seen at least one of them, right? I've seen one of them or two of them before, but like, that meant nothing to me. It's all white noise, right?
Now I know,
and I haven't rewatched those, and I'm so excited for the sequel because, man, this is such a great crew of characters, as you were alluding to.
Yeah, it's interesting of Sam Porter Bridges' journey, right?
Yeah.
Someone who has dooms, doesn't like to be touched because of his dooms level allows, like, the BTs can touch him and he gets a rash. So now he's also a porter. He's out by himself, right? This is a guy that's kind of isolated and doesn't have much connections going on. His mom calls and he's like, Mom, I don't want to do it right now.
Mom, I don't want to do this.
I'm busy on the road by myself. And it's like wild when you bring up your crew, because at the end, it's a team. This is a team effort, and everybody's together, and they're here to help Sam overcome this giant obstacle and save the universe and the world. And it's like, wow, that was like a really big journey to go on, because at the beginning, Sam was gruff. He wasn't speaking much. He wasn't shaking anybody's hands. He was just a man on a mission. And then it changed to like, oh, this is some beautiful stuff. He's got a team.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to like which I understand. I think this is like, even though I love this game so deeply, I think for a multitude of reasons, right? The connection that we had during the stream, like that whole scenario of us playing it just elevates the game so much on top of that. But I love the game for what it is. I will never begrudge anybody for the criticisms that they will have about the writing or the way that Kojima builds out his stories, because I get it, right? It is very on the nose in some places. It is very aloof in other places, right? He over-explains a lot of things, and then he under-explains a lot of things that I'm sure he should have actually just explained in the first place earlier on.
Like Dead Man. What's up with Dead Man? This Frankenstein man
exactly.
that we just kind of gloss over.
Just
It's
gloss
like,
over it.
oh, okay, he's built of stem cells and dead individuals. Don't worry about it, big
but he
dog.
doesn't connect. But it's about connection, right? He doesn't like connecting. He doesn't have any friends. I get it. I totally understand the criticisms behind all that. But It worked for me. It all worked for me. Of like, it is so campy. It is so out there. The fact that this character's wearing a mask and is Die Hard man, and his whole thing is that it's hard for him to die, right? Like it is so on the nose, but it works for me because of just how simple the story is, and also the world that they've built here, right? Where everybody is so afraid of connection at the very core of their existence, right? Because like connection could kill them, right? Like the idea of connecting, getting too close to somebody, that is what basically broke a lot of these people and their origin stories, right? Was their connection, and then the severing of the connections, and then they all go mama, with her baby, right? Like that is kind of the core of it. So then when you have like characters that have insane names, right, it is almost like this layer of protection between, the connection that they want to have deep down, but they also don't want to have because they want to protect themselves. So yeah, it works for me on that level, but I understand the criticisms of it all for sure.
Tell me some of your favorite characters, because I know you love Heartman.
Yeah, Heartman's my guy for sure. I mean, I could watch an entire movie about Heartman, right? When I think about like what the A24 movie is going to be, like I think about some of these characters and like, I want a prequel. I don't even want a sequel. I want a prequel. I don't want an adaptation of the game. I want them to explain or go into some of these characters a little bit more. But yeah, Heartman, for anyone that doesn't know, is a character whose family is killed in the initial Death Stranding, in the initial Void Out. And during that moment, he also dies, or at least his heart stops for a little bit. So he sees his family going on the beach, which is like their version of purgatory. And then he wakes up. He's revived from his heart attack, and he spends the next years of his life dying every 21 minutes. He dies for 3 minutes, and he goes on the beach and he tries to search for his family, and he's like forever alone. Like there's no connection to anybody else on his beach. So I thought, one, that was such an interesting and unique character idea, right? And like the way that they built out his room and everything around him, like they sold me on the idea that a man could die every 21 minutes for 3 minutes, and he's figured out his life. Like he's very efficient, and also just the way that how compelling that is, right? Like I think that's like that was one of the moments that like touched me in the feels, where this guy is just trying to search for the only thing that has ever connected him to people, right? Is his family, and he just is forever alone in that sense.
How about Big Cliff?
Big Cliff,
War hero.
That's Mads Mikkelsen. Everybody, that's Mads Mikkelsen.
He put on a performance.
Yeah, man.
That dude delivered.
Yeah, that was really cool because I love Mads Mikkelsen. I don't know how familiar you are with his work, but like I love Hannibal. He's incredible as Hannibal Lecter in the show. So it was great to see him. And he was also the guy that I would see in all the trailers. I'm like, okay, I know Mads Mikkelsen's in this, but like, what is his deal, right? And by the ending of this, it was very aloof until the very ending when you get that reveal, which I won't spoil necessarily for anybody. We might get into spoilers in a little bit, but I thought that twist was really great, and his overacting is also perfect, right? Like they have the flashbacks of him talking to the BB and him being like, I'm gonna take you to the moon, BB. I'm gonna take you to the moon. It is so over the top, but it works in context, and he brings it home for sure.
Yeah, when that story evolves and you learn more and more. I love every moment of connecting to BB and getting a flashback, right? And at first we're like, is this BB's memories? Whose memories are this? Because you are seeing it through the eyes of BB. You are in the tube and you're going, okay, well, I guess this is the baby. Like, what's going on? And to see it more build out, and him and Die Hardman, and then the story with the president, you're like, oh man, this is crazy.
I love it, but I also think that is a little bit of my criticism towards the ending of the game. I think that's when my criticisms of the game kind of like started to snowball a little bit, right? I still love this game. I think I would say if I were to give it a score on the Kind of Funny scale, I would say it's like a 9 out of 10 for sure. Like it's an amazing video game. Yeah. But that last kick of the game, I don't know if it was the hot dogs that we had, the corn dogs. I don't know what was happening there, but he over-explained a lot of situations that I don't think we needed to over-explain because it was shown to us many times before, and there was a lot of things that I was just like, could have used a little more time on that one, right? Yeah. And that was the Mads Mikkelsen of it all, right? Where we had it, we saw it every single time we would connect to the baby, we would see a cutscene, so I got most of it, right? But we just kept on showing the same thing, sort of, and like there was a moment where they explained, I guess, the BB of it all, right? They show it, and I'm like, oh, I got it, cool. And then they like took a very long time to finally reveal like exactly and tell it to the audience. Yeah. And I just feel like those things could have been conjoined a little bit more and truncated. And then also, of course, with like the actual ending of the game where people were like, man, the last hour of this game is crazy. And I'm like, I agree with you, but I get what he was going for of like, you're running on the beach and there's like this constant, like you have to, it's a very you just have to keep on going through the motions because that's what Sam Porter Bridges is going through on the beach in the actual world. But as a player, I was like, man, we could have just made this a little bit shorter because I wanted to because we're at the point now where I want the answers.
Yeah.
And now we're just stringing us along a little bit more.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off, Roger.
shit.
I appreciate you being so good
I was trying.
to our audience out there of holding back the spoilers. But of course, as Toby Blue writes in and says, go full spoilers, in my opinion.
You're right.
It's a 6-year-old game, and most of us have watched through the stream together.
That's true.
So yes, right now, we're going to pop the top on this, Roger. I don't want you to hold back anymore because I know you're doing so well at keeping it all hidden and kind of shadowed off. But, like, let's talk it. Take the jacket off,
Take the
Roger.
jacket off. It's a
and
great
let's
jacket,
talk
by the
about
way.
full spoilers. Let's get weird with this story, Roger, because, yeah, BB is, it turns out to be a couple of things. Your BB that you see in the memories too is actually Sam Porter Bridges.
It's him. But
Okay.
the BB on your thing is actually a different BB.
It's a different BB.
It's not him in the
and
past.
so you think it's a BB, but it's not your BB. But then it turns out to be your BB.
Yes.
Because it's your baby.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, it's a crazy story, Raj. Shit, Raj.
It's a crazy shit. But yeah, I think that was my just initial criticism of like, man, we're so close. We're so close to like we explained it. We explained
Yes.
it when you show my sister. Oh, fuck, why am I forgetting her name?
Amelie.
Amelie. Fuck, I was gonna say Alphabet, which is the mama's twin
Close.
sister or whatever, but it's not her actual name. Whatever. Amelie. When you're with Amelie, right? And she like shows like they show like the thing of like, oh, the baby and like gripping the baby. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and I put two and two together that moment. But then it takes like 20 to 30 minutes later on to then be like fully do it again.
Yeah.
Where I was like, man, I just wish that we can continue that.
So I already knew about that.
Oh, how?
Washi already told me because a long time ago.
Yeah.
This is an old game, and like me and my buddy Washi were talking, and Washi was like, "Wow, this game's fucking crazy, Mike." I was like, "Washi, just tell me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm
never
gonna
gonna
play
play
this
this
game.
shit.
Just
Yeah.
tell me." And so I already knew about Cliff being the father to
Oh, wow.
Sam Porter Bridges, and there was a moment in our stream yesterday when we got to the finale where you connected the dots,
Yeah.
but then you were like, okay, because we didn't get there, right?
Yeah.
We got
stopped
right to the
it,
doorway
and then
where
we
it's like if
went
you
back.
put it together, you would understand, oh shit, is Sam Porter Bridges the baby here and
Yeah.
he's his son? But then we kind of pull back and then we don't go full in until later on.
Yeah.
And so I got to watch you live in person go, what? Oh my God, am I? And then like
Yeah.
you had to stop because we went hard left. And I totally get what you're talking
Yeah.
about there. Because it did take some time to finally go back, tell us the whole full-on story of, oh yeah, Sam Porter Bridges is that baby. And oh man, that baby died. And then Amelie met him on the beach, gave him the
Yeah.
Lion King, and threw him back and said, "You're a repat
He's
now."
a repat now. Yeah, it's interesting because I understand. I think I'm starting to understand the way that Kojima works and operates. Right, he is somebody that really respects and loves acting. Right, he loves to see his favorite actors act and do their thing.
And man, they nailed it.
They nailed it. They did
Yeah.
a great job. Him,
Die
Hardman is what I was going
nailed
to get at.
his,
Right,
yeah.
so. He likes to stay with those moments and spend a lot of time with these actors and make sure that they have those moments. And then everything else kind of falls to the wayside a little bit, right? Like he explains it and it's there in the game. I'm sure I would have understood that the time fall wasn't time fall by the ending of it, right? If I really like listened to it and connected the dots, right? But it didn't. By the time we ended the game, I was like, oh wait, what? And the chat's like, oh no, that's not time fall. Don't worry about that.
Well,
Like,
I took that as like we stopped the Death Stranding,
Yeah.
so the rain is now safe again.
Yeah, but then it got a little confusing. For me,
Okay,
where
okay.
it's funny because it's like this game is very confusing throughout the entire time, but I felt like I was there. I felt like
Okay.
I got it and I understood it, but in the last hour of it kind of exploded everything, but then also built it back, but in a way that I never got to the place that I was before, where I felt like I was on it and I was getting it and I was on the same path as Kojima, and then we get to the end, I'm like, shit, I do need that hour-long video explaining it all, which is not a bad thing, right? I mean, a lot of games that I love do that exact thing.
Yeah.
But it felt like I want this next experience. I know it won't happen to just be a little bit more tighter when it comes to the narrative. I know
Yeah.
that's never going to happen.
It's gonna be
but
crazy, Raj.
It's going to be more intense.
Where do we go? Because like fragile, right?
Yeah.
But what's the line?
But I'm not that fragile.
It,
But she says it differently twice. She says,
it
I'm
gets me
fragile, but
every
I'm not
time.
that fragile.
It gets me every time.
It
I
gets
love
great.
it every
It's
time.
great.
And that story was crazy with her and Troy Baker, who we'll get to in a minute as Higgs,
Yeah.
who is the bad guy of all of this, wanting to push for the Death Stranding, the big apocalypse, the extinction level event. And it's like, man, Fragile has a story.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, she's just eating these space bugs, and you're like, all right, like, what's up with Fragile? She's just teleporting all around. And then she gets the coolest story in the video game. I loved that part.
Yeah, no, I her whole thing, I was like, this is corny in the beginning, but then you get to that point, you get that. Yeah, he does a great job of making you care about characters that you would have never thought that you would have cared about just by giving them the most tragic backstory humanly possible. That and Mama, just two extremely tragic backstories that you're going to then love those characters forever because of that.
Man, that Mama's backstory was tough too.
Insane, yeah.
That was an insane one.
Yeah,
and then she builds the weapon to cut BTs out from this world to send them and actually send them fully gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, we're gonna cut the baby.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a wild one.
Yeah, it is funny that he's like, hey, we got to kill one Margaret Qualley, but I love Margaret Qualley, so we got to have another Margaret Qualley.
Yeah,
we
she
got to
had a
make
twin sister.
Yeah,
and they're
she had a
gonna
twin
become the same.
sister. They're going to become the same. Don't you worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I also did like the way that story kind of came to a head at the ending, right? Because we have my mom, right? The two versions of my mom's sister, right? We have the one in on the beach in the sky. We have Amelie, and then we have Beatrice, right? Which was my real mom, or
Bridget.
Bridget
Bridget
Beatrice.
Bridges.
Bridget, and then we have Amelie up in the sky, right? And then it's the same thing with Margaret Qualley's characters, right? We have the one that's living, but then the other one's also in the BT realm technically, but then it's also like coming back and forth. It's like the Ha and the Ka. I enjoyed that stuff. I felt like that kind of came together for me because first when we had the two versions of Margaret Qualley, I was like, okay. Bro, I know you love Margaret Qualley, but we could have just
lane.
Yeah, exactly. You kill her off or you don't kill her off, but I appreciated that.
Yeah, that was good. You brought up Die Hardman. I want to kind of go through the list. I want to get to Higgs for sure because I still have question marks.
Higgs is probably one of the weakest characters.
Yeah, let's talk about him right now.
Yeah,
he's a badass villain.
Yeah.
Awesome look, right? Troy Baker giving a performance, like really making you feel it. But then like he's so little used that it's like, oh, I didn't get to learn much about Higgs
and that's
here.
On purpose, right? Like, I mean, because he is in the sequel, right? Like, they show him in the trailers, right? He looks badass. He does a guitar, right? Like, not to spoil anything, but you see it in the trailers.
Well, I mean, we can spoil that.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to spoil it for you.
Spoilers.
I don't know what you know, or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean trailer? Yeah, don't worry. I've seen the trailers.
Okay, cool.
And she also says, like, I couldn't kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, Fragile,
he's
what?
back.
You wanted to kill this guy.
So I'm sure for the next one, he's going to be all up in there. But in terms of the main storyline, they really push him as like, this is like the big bad, and of course it's a swerve, right? It's a swerve because he's not actually the technical big bad. It is Amelie is sort of the big bad. I would guess you would say she's the extinction level event. So I understand why, but they build him as this huge big deal, and when you get there, you're like, oh, I guess he's done now. Okay, and they even do like the Metal Gear Solid 4 thing, right, where you're fighting him and you're punching him, and it's like, am I supposed to feel something right now? Because I'm not, and that's like. That is the biggest gameplay thing that I have throughout this entire thing is that the boss fights are not very good. I don't think I had one really great boss fight that I think back on and say, man, this is the one, because right before I get into the Troy Baker stuff and fighting. No, right after that, they throw me into like a mini boss thing that was just a bullet sponge and took forever and just stopped my progress fully. And I hated it. And I was like looking at the chat and I was like, am I doing something wrong? And they said, no, this is pretty much what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be just throwing grenades at them and blowing them up.
Yeah.
It took forever. And then we get to like the actual, like the look of having, Amelie stuck to a BT, this massive kaiju looking BT that is controlled by Higgs, is cool in premise, but it just results in me shooting rocket launchers at them forever. And that was my biggest criticism of Metal Gear Solid 5. When I got halfway through that game, I stopped playing it because it was like, no, now you just got to shoot rocket launchers and blow up a bunch of zombies. And I was like, that's not what I'm playing this game for. So I think that's like the dissonance between Kojima's like baseline design of like he's making this game, this open world delivery game, and then now you got to have a big boss fight.
Yeah.
Okay, how do I integrate that? Well, you're just gonna shoot a bunch of rockets at people. So I want him to figure out some way to make that a little bit more cohesive. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it is non-traditional boss fights, but yeah, I mean in my mind, I'm like I could have done this entire game without boss fights and been fine. For the most part.
Yeah, it was fun as a passenger to watch you, right? Of like the first boss fight was exciting because you didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
You had that kind of like screaming, yelling of jumping from building to building to get out of the tar and then also fight back. And we were laughing, having fun. And there was a moment of like, oh, I'm figuring it out and I'm freaking out. And then by the end, when you fought the giant whale, you're like, oh wow, this is really boring. Like
Yeah.
this, I'm not even moving on this one. Like the first 2 boss fights, you were really actively moving, parkouring through this area while fighting. When you fought that final whale, you stayed on the same roof
Just
the entire time.
The best boss fights, quote unquote boss fights, were the stuff with Cliff, right? Because that is more.
Oh, those were sick.
Those were more, I would like say, like cerebral, like psychology based
Yeah.
ones where you're inside of these massive war scenes, right? You go through World War I, World War II, and then Vietnam, and then you're just it's doing the same thing, right? Where you're running around, and then he has
it's still very
he has
basic.
a bunch of guards that you're just picking up shit off the floor, you're shooting them, and then you just have to get the right cover situation, eat enough bugs, and then you're done. But it was fun to explore those areas, and I think maybe something like that, but with more exploration or even more cargo-based things. Like if I had to deliver things to certain areas in order to get a gun, like that would be interesting, right? Like I don't know, like kind of connecting the strands, right? Connecting the dots between, hey, this game is all about balancing my weight and getting from point A to point B, and then this boss fight is completely different when I'm picking up guns and shooting, and it's Call of Duty is interesting, and I think that is a big not issue, but something that a design challenge for Kojima to potentially overcome.
Well, it's interesting. We talk about the boss fights, right? But then there's this open world combat that I found really exciting to watch you.
Yeah.
And what I'm excited
like
for
that
is like there's moments where we start going from, oh, you just deliver to, hey, there are other delivery guys out there that have now kind of gone rogue and want to steal your packages, right? They're called the mules. And you start to get some weapons, right? You get the lasso gun, and you can kind of do that. You get
the rubber bullets and
rubber
stuff,
bullets.
yeah.
And it's like, there was fun moments of what I think we've seen with Blessings preview and other previews, and now heading into Death Stranding 2 is like, there's going to be a moment now where it's like, oh, you can completely avoid that and walk your path and get away. You can stealth through that and maybe slowly take them out. Or there's some combat here, and you showed that combat in those kind of situations of like, I'm just lassoing guys, but it was fun and exciting to watch. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was way more involved than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be, from what I heard, I truly thought there was no way to non-lethally take out these people. I thought I had to just blow them up and then run away or something like that. Like I thought it was completely a no-go. But no, you can really take these people down, and that's in the base game because we played the director's cut. We should say that specifically. We played on PC, so there are some added things, but it doesn't seem like anything too formative. I think there's some like mini areas that we went to, like that are indoors that are more stealth-based. But the stuff that we were doing most of the time with like the rubber bullets and stuff, that was all added in the base game. So it was very surprising, and it was fun. That was fun stuff, and that reminded me of like a Metal Gear Solid 5. So I'm excited for the next one to see how that expands and how stealth can I get with it.
Yeah. And awesome crazy mechs.
Oh shit! Is that what's happening in the next
I
one?
mean, I'm just seeing the trailers, right? Of like seeing
fun.
them on top of these giant bodies and stuff with like no heads. It's crazy.
I'm
shit.
so excited because I don't
They got
remember
a spaceship.
The
it
only
looks
thing
like.
I
It's gonna be
remember
crazy.
from the trailers are the kid stuff. Luis, as we'll talk about in a second, just Luis walking around or like, being a little bit older, and then the Troy Baker running around with the electric guitar. That's all I remember from the trailer.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see more of it.
I think the exciting stuff is, and a lot of people are pointing out in the chat of like, there's some cool Higgs, aka Troy Baker, lore that you can go learn on some side stuff. A lot of people saying like, when you do the marathon stream, you don't get to spend the time. And so the fun part is like, Roger, do you think as the lead up to Death Stranding 2, will you spend a little more time going back to Death Stranding 1, right?
Yeah.
Will you go and spend a night building roads? Will maybe you go do some of the side content to expand the story? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, maybe we missed out on that, which is understandable.
Yeah, totally.
When it's like, Mike's dying, there's a timer on the stream. Mike's yelling, just
we're trying to
mainline
fit-
this or I'll kill you. So that's on me,
No,
audience
but
out there. You got to remember.
and I totally
it's
get
also
that.
a piece of content. Yeah,
It's a piece of content, and also, like, I will go back and play some of it. But also, I think my criticism still stands, right? Like, I understand you put more lore in the side stuff, which I respect, and I'm sure it's great. But also, if you're making a main villain of a game, or a semi-main villain that I'm supposed to care about, and doing the big punching thing where it's like, oh, we're really putting everything into this fight, right? Like, this is a huge deal that me and Higgs have finally met, and I don't really know shit about this guy, and I don't really care about this guy. That stuff needs to be funneled into the main story pretty well. Like, you can't just leave that to the side stuff. Be like, well, you didn't look at the side stuff. Like, no, the main story needs to be the main story, and you need to kind of account for that, right?
He was a bad guy, though.
He was a bad guy, though.
He was dropping nukes, man.
Yeah.
He had Fragile delivering nukes. He tried to get you to deliver a nuke. He
Yeah.
had to whip that thing into the... That was a cool moment.
It was cool.
I enjoyed that. When we failed that the first time,
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? That was
I just
cool.
started
I
throwing
really
shit in his
liked
face.
that.
Yeah, that was
so
fun. That
much
was a good time.
man. And so, yeah, I hope that you go back, because I think the coolest part is we got to see the world share their creations with us, and I would have loved to see you spend more time, because I think
Yes.
the coolest part is when we started building zip lines.
Oh, dude.
And I love, just like we talked about, when you watch someone play a game, it's a nightmare because you're thinking of 7 other things.
You did
It's-
good though. I will say. I don't want to cut you off, but I'm saying
yeah.
you did a great in terms of not backseat driving me.
Oh,
too much.
of course.
You did great, and I do love the moment. I wish I had it. I want to post it one day of just me, you just saying, "Why don't you go around this?" I said, "Why don't you just shut the fuck up?" I was like, "Mike, it's noon. I'm hungry. Shut the fuck up. Let me cook."
It is so cool of like
You did a
this
great
game
job.
being a true sandbox,
Yes.
and it being the walking sim where the object is to get from point A to point B, go however you want, right? And there's going to be people like me. It's like, well, Roger, why don't you follow this canyon and then get to like the flatland where it's going to be easy and take a slow walk around that? And you're like, no, I'm going up and over this goddamn mountain. I'm going to cut the time down by half.
Believe
and I'm
in
going
me.
to make it. Another one. The
Vehicles?
The vehicles.
Yeah, we
okay, we got
gotta
to talk about the vehicles for a second.
You gotta elevate the
What
vehicles, keep
the
Kojima.
fuck, bro?
Dude.
Why is that thing banging off of every single rock, Roger?
I can't believe. I love Kojima. You know what I mean? I dapped him up. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great guy. What the fuck? Like that is an offense that should have delayed the video game.
Yes,
like that is
yeah.
the fact that look at that. I just bang into the smallest rock humanly possible and it just hard stops me.
Unacceptable.
Hard stops me.
Unacceptable.
That is not how you fucking design
Yeah.
these things. No, there needs to be some type of all-terrain vehicle. I know that there's a truck that we didn't get. Oh, sorry about that one,
Yeah.
everybody. But either way, the fucking motorcycle should not be hitting every single fucking rock unless someone told me, which I couldn't believe. They're like, "Hey, you should do a wheelie." And I was like, "What?" And I do a wheelie, and you can just wheelie the entire time, and that avoids every single rock.
Yeah, that was a weird one of like, do the wheelie, and you were avoiding like 90%, but you're also still banging into some. It's like,
Yeah, look at that.
It never,
Just right there.
Never felt good, never looked quite right
No.
with the motorcycle. And that was a disappointment of like, the vehicles are clearly probably supposed to be used on the road, right? But when you go
Still.
off-road with them, you're just having the time of your life. And it felt so frustrating to watch you bang into things and be like, he's getting no momentum. Like, just help him out. You know what I mean?
help
Like,
me out.
we gotta
Look at me,
figure
I'm just
this out,
struggling, just
you
absolutely
know?
struggling in this game. Yeah, so that's a huge area of improvement for the next one. So I'm excited because it seems like that's the direction they're going for.
Yeah.
That would be very exciting for me.
The
Something
ramps
honorable.
also made me laugh because we got a good one coming in from one of the best friends out there. Did you use the ramps and did you hit any stunt tricks from Jake C over there?
I think we hit one, and we're like, oh shit.
We hit 3 ramps total. One ramp was sick and it actually worked. The other 2 ramps sent us directly just dead vertical and then straight down. There was no ramp.
ravine.
I was like, give him about 40 feet on that thing.
Come on, Kojima, change the sliders, figure it out.
What a time on that one, Roger. And so yeah, what are you excited for Death Stranding 2, Roger? Because I think of it like,
Yeah.
I mean, clearly we're putting all the boxes back on our back. Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah.
Is he still delivering packages
course,
in
yeah.
this? And so like, you got the weight game again.
Yeah.
You're juggling things, vehicles, of course, creating roads and ropes and ladders. Like, what more do you want? What do you want to see refined? What do you want to see expanded on?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot I want to see expanded on in terms of the story. I'm very excited to see this universe get bigger and to see more and more characters into it, right? Just building upon the baseline that we've created here. We have Elle Fanning is in it. We have a ton of new actors and people that are going to be added to the Death Stranding universe. So I'm very excited about that. But like in terms of honestly hype level, like just getting that out there, this year's a weird one for me because I look around and I see a lot of people saying, man, this year's really great in terms of video games. And it for sure is. There's a lot of great games coming out. But there hasn't been, like, last year was such a Roger year in like a very real way from the fucking jump. Like, we had a Yakuza game that you had Infinite Wealth, which is incredible. We had Final Fantasy. We had even just in the beginning of the year, we had fucking Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, right? Like, we had like 3 of like one of my top 12 games of the year, right there in January, February. And this year, I'm just not feeling it. Like, there's not really many things that are really grabbing me, getting me super excited, getting me into that level. And This one is the first time this year where I'm looking forward to a game in the way that like I get like butterflies in my stomach. Like I'm thinking about like, oh my God, like what an experience. Like Death Stranding 2 is that level of hype that came out of nowhere and I'm so deeply excited for. So yeah, I'm excited for just to see how crazy Kojima gets with it. Like, are we going into time loops? Are we going to multiverse shit? Like, I mean, I saw the fucking second trailer where it's like doing some Metal Gear Solid shit. Like, what does that look like? Like, is that, how far are we riding that line? Are we actually going to skirt up into potentially making some type of weird, like, multiverse shit? Like, I don't know what he's doing here, but I am interested, and I'm also interested to see the gameplay improvements because, yeah, of course we have to be going across the city. No, we're going somewhere else, which I don't. Whatever. We're going somewhere else. We're going to a different continent. We're going to a different area, delivering stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see, one, how they adapt that terrain, and then two, how they kind of create the baseline at the beginning of it, right? Are we starting with everything that we ended with Death Stranding? Like, do I get the zip line immediately? Because that's what I want. I just want to start off with everything. And I just want to add on. So by the ending of this game, I feel like I'm fucking invincible doing insane shit. Like, that would be a really cool idea, is to start off with just, hey, you have baseline, you can build zip lines, you have the PCC2, whatever it's called, you have the motorcycle, you have the car, you have everything. Okay, now we're going to get crazy with it. By the ending of it, you're going to be fucking Iron Man. That would be my perfect world, where we just go, because I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where it's like, what 2,000 hours in Death Stranding looks like, and these people are fucking doing insane shit. They're running, they're fucking flying, they're doing insane stuff. So if we can get there, and like for the normal gamer by mid game, like where you're just doing wild shit and you can kind of focus on like min-maxing that level of stuff, that would be dope.
All right, Roger. Well, of course, the title of this is our review of Death Stranding in 2025.
Yeah.
You have already given it a number, but let's do the fun little review synopsis from you right now, Roger. You played Death Stranding here in 2025 for your first ever time ahead of Death Stranding 2's release in June. What would you grade it?
Yeah, as I said earlier, I would give Death Stranding a 9 point. No, I will give Death Stranding a 9 out of 10 on the kind of funny scale. I will say that is a capital A amazing game. Capital amazing game. I don't know what you're doing. Capitals and lowercase.
Lowercase amazing. You're going with capital A amazing.
Yeah, capital A amazing, but not all caps amazing. Right?
I like that.
I would say it's a 9 out of 10. I definitely see where this game can be improved on, and I see the world where Death Stranding 2 can be that 10 out of 10 for me.
Nice.
It definitely has that road to do it. All it just needs is the quality of life. Right, that is all I want. I want more quality of life stuff, and I want that story to go absolutely fucking bonkers, and for him to kind of streamline the things that we're explaining and not just re-explain the same thing 10 times, because that's what it felt like towards the ending. But other than that, I had an incredible experience with it, an incredible time hanging out with you, doing this amazing stream, hanging out with the audience supporting us for so long, breaking records at Kinda Funny here, and really getting me to experience a game that I wouldn't have experienced otherwise, right? And Death Stranding 2 has the possibility, I mean, we know for sure it has Caroline Polachek in it, and she's doing the title song of Death Stranding on the Beach, the song called On the Beach. So we have a contender, TEN, 10 out of 10. I'm excited, and I'm hoping for it. I'm hoping for it, man. I think. What about you? If you were to rate it, if you were to give it a score, I know you didn't play it.
I'm an 8.59.
Okay.
I think it was a great to an amazing game. I think it was another Kojima title that I love and I will think about forever. Just like when me and Barrett did Metal Gear Solid games, I was wowed by what this guy is capable of. As someone who didn't play the Kojima titles back as a kid, experiencing them now as an adult who is talking about it with his friends and experiencing them live and getting awesome tidbits from people who are super informed and like experts in it. It's like, oh, wow, this guy has got something, and his team is truly incredible. And so, like, I am kind of ride or die for Kojima. I really love all of his work and his team's work, and playing through this with you, Roger, was an experience, right? I loved the idea of this game. I can't wait for me to play it, right? I'm excited to go hands on the sticks because I am someone who loves going on a hike. I like scurrying up the side of a mountain. I love creating my own path. And so, yeah, this game really speaks to me. And then on top of that, the weird, wacky storytelling of Kojima always gets me excited because we get to do Lale Lule lore breakdowns and we just make up the inner parts of the story where people are like, well, that's not true. And then we figure out what's true and what's fun. It's like awesome stuff that he leads us on this cool little trail. And I loved our experience, Roger. I will definitely cherish it. I will remember it.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for 2. I'm excited to do it, hopefully all over again with you.
Yeah.
I got new shoes,
Oh shit.
you know,
Looks
they're
nice.
comfy.
They're
and
white.
so, like, I will be bouncing off of this
Oh,
treadmill
shit.
with you right
Doing
next
tricks
to you.
on it. And I'm excited about this because we have potentially we might do it again for another marathon stream.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
still talking about it, figuring it out. But also, you and I get to react and kind of break down the Death Stranding 2 trailers, which I'm excited about. So
Yeah, we'll
hopefully
do
that's
that.
hopefully
Here's some future content.
yeah,
you
exactly.
And
And it seems like he's cooking up another trailer. I see him editing
One
and
more.
stuff. I see images of him fucking in Premiere
no,
and
too
stuff.
many. But like that's lit. That's lit.
Like
That's
you
lit.
just do the one. You do the one big one.
Yeah,
we
but
don't
I mean,
need
this-
2.
The second one was kind of crazy. You know what I mean? What if the
Yeah.
third one has the Caroline song? You know what I mean? We got to listen to it. We got to listen to that song one more time.
How amazing is that to think about Caroline and
Oh.
getting this opportunity and like having your song as the title song? It's like, oh snap, that's like a James Bond song. I know I said it a couple of
Yeah.
times, Roger, but like that is the honor of like, oh snap, you're the James Bond song. That's lit.
Yeah, I think about the Metal Gear Solid 5 title theme a lot.
Yeah.
So like the fact that she's able to get that level of thing is very exciting. So yeah, I'm excited.
Really
to,
cool.
I'm excited to
I
experience it
can't
and
wait
listen
to
to it.
hear the music.
Yeah.
Because everybody, we were going crazy for the music in the first one.
Yes.
The music hit at all times, and every single time, every track through it, Roger,
Yeah.
hit at the right moment, and they were all like perfect. Everything was really good. Y'all put me on to Churches now.
Yeah,
I don't know who
Churches
that was.
fire.
Now I'm into that. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm excited to see what he's got up his sleeves because this game needs really good music for what it was. But I don't know what 2 is going to be.
Yeah.
It could be over the top action all the time.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
And then also we have a movie coming out too that is actually happening. Like they're actively casting and they have the director and like they're making this happen. This A24 Death Stranding movie directed by the same director as Quiet Place Day 1 or Part 1 or whatever the fuck
Okay.
it was called. And then also he directed the movie Pig with Nicolas Cage, which I fucking adore. So man, that's gonna actually happen. That's exciting.
honestly, if you asked me way back when this first dropped, there's no way I thought this was going to get a sequel.
Yeah.
There's no way I
No
thought
way.
we'd be making a movie
No.
as well.
Yeah.
But it's exciting times because after Death Stranding 2, we look forward to OD and then Fizzant. Like, dude, we got a lineup here of
Yeah,
games
dude.
coming from this team.
OD. Will it come out?
OD, he didn't say it.
He
You know
didn't
what I
say
mean?
it.
He didn't bring that one
Fizzant,
up.
though. Let me talk about Fizzant.
For everybody watching live over on YouTube and on Twitch, we're not done. We're going to end this podcast and this episode of Gamescast with a fun one. I
Oh.
let Roger and I and all of you share the fun of our experience, but the experience wouldn't be the experience without the moments. And there were some moments of ordering food throughout
Yes.
this marathon stream. And I want us to rank the
great.
food that we ordered, Roger. So to end today's Gamescast episode, we're going to look back on 60 plus hours. A marathon stream that went from Saturday to Monday morning and also a Wednesday afternoon. We ate a lot of food. I had a lot of meat
A
sticks.
lot of meat sticks.
An insane amount of meat
Ate
sticks.
a lot of nuts. Put a lot of nuts in my mouth.
Heart rate was through the roof.
Yeah.
We
a little
didn't talk about the
worrying.
heart rate much.
Yeah. A little scary. A little
The
scary.
best line was, "Oh man, this was from Timu. It's not reading right." And then we put it on you, and it was just perfect.
It's just perfectly normal. It is a perfectly normal heart rate.
And so, Roger, let's look back at what we ate.
Yes.
We had some snacks. We definitely had a lot of Starbucks, but we also had some fun moments of ordering meals together.
Yeah.
What did we order? Where should we
So
rank
I'm
them?
just gonna
Let's
go
talk
for
about it.
for the dinners, right? That's easy, right? Including the one from yesterday,
Yeah,
right? So we
okay.
had night one, we ordered Chili's. That was our first Freak
Chili's.
Nasty idea. Thank you to the audience for talking us through that one and getting us
Yeah.
the triple dipple. And then we got Denny's for the second night. Oof.
That was tough.
That was really
That was
tough.
unfortunate.
Genuinely
but
tough.
A great French toast.
Was it? No,
You know
no,
what?
that's not.
Great French
Let's go back
toast.
a little bit because if you
Great
watch that
French
clip,
toast.
Mike was not happy about that French toast. Then we had Red Robin to round that out. That was also tough. That was a tough one. And then yesterday we bought a bunch of corn dogs from.
Yeah, we had Korean corn dogs for
Monty.
the first ever time. That was tough. So let's work through them. We started with Chili's. We got excited by Chili's. A little duo date to Chili's.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
We got caught up in the appies. We
Yeah.
got caught up in the triple dipple.
Yeah, we got what was it? But you got the sliders. You
I got
dumbass.
2 orders of
You
sliders.
stupid fucking
and
idiot.
both of them came just butt naked. No ketchup, no mustard, no LTOs, no
Well, no,
lettuce,
the issue was
nothing.
that they were mostly like any slider, mostly
Yeah.
bread. and you got so mad about it. You're like, I don't want to eat this.
Well,
Nabi.
it's like you got to put a little something on it. You can't just give me a King's Hawaiian roll and a slice of bad meat in the middle.
I think you specifically
gotta-
said you didn't want shit on it, and then I told them not to put shit on it, and then you got mad.
That's why I was butt naked then. And I should have got some ketchup on that. I got those, and what else did I get on mine?
You got the chicken. Oh, you got mozzarella sticks. Or you get chicken. No, you got chicken. You got chicken. The hot Nashville chicken tenders or whatever. the fuck.
Oh, and they were good.
Those were
they
smacking.
Were sticky.
Those were
Yeah, that was
smacking,
good.
bro.
That's
Those were
right.
smacking. And
I
they stayed
should have gone with the
crispy.
quesadillas.
Yeah, you should.
Or those
and
egg
then we
rolls.
got the egg rolls from me.
Yeah.
And those were way too spicy for you.
I said those are too spicy. You said, Mike, this is just black pepper on this. I said, it's too spicy. It hurts.
the whitest man in the world. And then I got the chicken tenders as well, and I think I got
Yeah.
mozzarella sticks or something like that. But yeah, that was good.
So Chili's
S tier. That's number one.
S tier number one.
I mean, I don't know about S tiers or whatever, but let's just do number one. I
Okay.
thought that's the
Well,
best one.
yeah,
That's
we're
definitely
ranking
the
it
best
number
one.
All right, Chili's number one right now.
For
Chili's
sure.
number one. Take it
Right
to the
now?
next one.
Okay, let's fucking go
Well, we
through
got to
it.
talk about the other ones.
Oh, and those fucking chips
Oh,
were
and
so
those
good.
chips are unreal. You know what? The
Smacking.
chips are going to drive Chili's.
Absolutely. And then we had Denny's. Oof. So there's four options.
So we
There's
made
four
a
numbers
bad
here.
call here. We gave the opportunity to the live audience watching during the marathon stream to vote on what we should have for dinner. And you gave them four options, and they, excuse my language, fucked me. Okay?
Yeah, they absolutely
fucked
fucked
us.
you. Yeah, look at them. They fucked you like that. Missionary.
I mean, these are some moments, Roger. You got to watch
Yeah,
this
we
if you
gotta
missed
watch
any
this
of the
shit.
fun. This is my only break.
Yeah, That's you right there.
This is my only break.
That
This
was
is my only
that
break.
was your only break.
This is my only
right
break.
there, like 2 hours.
Conveniently,
later,
all of the
sitting there.
KFAF lay on the couch is cut out of
This
here.
is my only break, Chad. And so, Denny's.
Denny's.
We
was
think
tough.
about breakfast,
eggs.
24/7. You know.
Also, that's when you ordered an extra. No, that was Red Robin. We'll save that later.
Yeah. So I went with my classic French toast, sausage links, bacon. Okay.
Yeah.
And I told Roger, I said, if this French toast doesn't have syrup,
Yeah.
you best believe I'm throwing a temper tantrum and I'm gonna hit you
got
with this
so
French
uptight.
toast.
Got so uptight.
Roger, message this poor DoorDash driver. Please, God, make sure there's
Yeah. He's
syrup
going to
in
kill
this.
us.
Yeah.
And there was, which was great.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was bad. I got the slamwich or whatever the fuck. The Grand Slamwich.
Yeah, that was a bad
get-
call.
You got the Grand Slam.
The Grand Slamwich. It had it was like bacon, it had ham, it had eggs, it had cheese, and it was like on a sourdough with like cinnamon on it. It was
Yeah.
fine. It was like a 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. It was whatever. It sucked. This is the
Denny's is
This is
3.
the worst one.
Denny's
No.
is 3 right now. Well, I mean, we're gonna move.
We
things.
have 4.
Well,
we have-
Denny's is 2 right now, technically, and then we move them.
okay, it's definitely 4, but yes.
Yeah,
so
Denny's
okay,
is going
2.
down to the bottom.
All right, so then Red Robin we had next.
I blacked out. I don't even remember. We
Ra-
got a big ass burger.
We got big ass burgers. We got extra
Oh.
fries, and they were the most greasy thing that we've ever had in our lives.
that
and
burger was tough.
it was an issue because I know because I'm as a former bigger person, I
Yeah.
still have it in me, right? Like I still all I want to do is eat whatever's in front of me,
Yeah.
and I destroyed that burger, and you didn't even finish that burger. So that's how I know that we have an issue here. Is
Yeah, that
that
wasn't
when
good.
Mike doesn't even finish a burger and I destroy a burger, that's not good.
we got a problem.
We got a problem, and it wasn't like a good destroying. It was not like I was like into
No.
it. It was a bad
But
burger.
I had a peach milkshake
It was also
and
bad.
a root beer float. Peach milkshake. Peach rings milkshake.
No.
Awful.
Oh.
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, I
Awful.
thought it was just a peach milkshake. It's
No.
peach rings.
Well, it was a peach milkshake that they put the cute candy gummy peach rings in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Awful.
Yo, did you know the story about this, Barrett?
No.
So we did a thing where on the stream, he said he wanted 2 milkshakes. He wanted a Dr. Pepper root beer float, and he wanted the peach ring milkshake. And I said, "Hey, Mike, you can only get 1. I'm ordering. You can't get 2." And then he said, "I'll rock paper scissors for it right now. And if I win, I get to order 2." And I said, "Okay." And I fucking beat his ass.
He beat me.
I beat his ass in a way that I already told him exactly how I was going to beat him.
It's
and I
funny
didn't-
because 20 minutes before we talked about rock, paper, scissors technique.
Yeah, exactly. I was telling him that what
Still
I do
lost.
is I always go, I go paper. I
You
go
go
paper.
paper?
I go paper, and then if it's a tie, people freak out, and
Yeah.
then they go rock because they
I
want to be
freaked.
strong,
Yeah.
and then I stay paper, and I
Double
always
papered
win,
me.
and that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. So I beat his ass, right? And then as I go to the bathroom after I order everything, he talks. I come back and I see on the chat all a bunch of 1s and chat be cool, and then I go back in the clips and I find him be like, "Chad, I just spent $20 and I ordered the same milkshake to here. I ordered the second milkshake." So the same DoorDash person picked up probably the easiest lick of their lives.
Oh, just double it.
Just double it up, bro, because you just spent $20 on one milkshake that sucked.
Also, I heard you were warned about the Red Robin pizza and you ordered it anyway.
Yeah, so that's also another great point. Yeah, we ordered
Red
the
Robin
Ohio,
pizza.
which Jeff Grubb was defending because it's
Yeah, but Greg
Ohio
said
grown.
don't
Yeah, it's
do it.
Donato's, which I can also speak to as someone who was born in Ohio. No, absolutely the
That
fuck
was
not.
bad.
It was
I
the
could have
weirdest.
told you.
It was the weirdest pizza in the world because it smelled really good. You take a bite out of it, you taste the pepperoni, you're like, oh, this is good pepperoni, and then you start tasting the sauce and the cheese, and you're like, why is there no flavor here?
Why is it so
Why
bad?
is there zero flavor?
That
in
was
any of it?
crazy.
So that was bad. So that Denny's, I would say Red Robin is better than Denny's because I ate the entire burger and I liked the fries.
Yeah.
And the pizza was like it was awful, but it was also had pepperoni that was pretty good. So I'll give it a pass there. You know what I mean? Come on. So I'm gonna say that Red Robin is above Denny's, below Chili's.
Yes.
And then of course yesterday we had corn dogs.
Ooh, this was a bad decision.
This was the
You know,
it's probably
I
the worst
don't
decision we
eat
probably
many
had.
corn dogs. I haven't had many in my life, and
You didn't really
the
know what
i-
it was.
the idea of elevating the corn dog in such a way where all of a sudden there is French fries, mashed up French fries surrounding the outside of this corn dog.
Yeah.
We've taken the corn dog and just dipped it in a bunch of Cheeto
Yeah.
flakes,
Ugh.
Look at me throwing
Takis
that.
flakes.
Fuck
Then
yeah.
for some reason we decided to make a half and half where we cut the dog in half, and then on the top half of the corn dog, it's just cheese because we wanted to do fried cheese sticks, but
Yeah.
who wants just a cheese stick? So let's do half and half. And it's like, no, it should be the dog surrounded by cheese. That's a true
Sure.
half and half. And they said, no, it's half cheese, half dog. And that was a
sucked.
bad idea.
Yeah, and the mozzarella wasn't good, right?
No,
And then when you have
no.
when you have these things, right? They're not mozzarella sticks, right? So they don't have the same textural like contrast, like they're not as like crisp as you would
Yeah.
want them to. And then the cheese just sucks. So then it's like, oh, this is like a bad mozzarella stick,
Yeah.
and it was $8.
Just take the mozz stick,
That's
take
rough.
take the dog, wrap the mozz stick around it, corn dog. it.
Yes,
Like
he's
that's
absolutely
all I
right.
want.
Shadow
here.
Trickster Chat says Mike has awful takes, bro.
But then says it's a mozz stick and a dog. And I'm describing to
It's
you
not
what
as
it
good.
should look like.
Yeah. no, it's not.
quick
as,
But I love you.
question.
yeah, of course.
More importantly, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this green one?
Yeah, this is the Taki
That's the
one.
Takis
It's the Taki
one.
one.
Yeah.
It looks like just it's covered in like moss.
Yeah,
is
it
so
didn't
gross.
taste good either. Actually, no, it
Yeah.
was the better one. No, it was
Takis
bad.
was oh really? I like Takis more than Cheetos.
I think so,
Cheetos
actually.
wasn't hot.
But then we also got Cheetos, hot Cheetos, fried Korean chicken, and that was pretty good.
Ooh.
It was like General Tso's chicken, but like
Yeah.
super fucking fake spicy. So I liked it, but I also hated it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna die if I keep on eating this. Cause
Yeah, that was too spicy. I didn't like that at all. I
Yeah.
didn't
So
like that.
I
I actually would put this lower than Denny's.
no way.
Yeah. I'd put this lower than Denny's. That's how I feel in my heart of hearts. But I'll put it above Denny's for you. But like Denny's at least gave me a cold French toast that I could eat.
I'll give it to you, actually. Yeah. So, okay, our list goes like this. Chili's at number 1, Red Robin at number 2, including the pizzas from Donato's, which he also called Dante's. Denny's at number 3, and then corn dogs at number 4. So that was tough. Oh, Grub Killer says, to be honest, you didn't finish any of that order. We put a fucking dent, bro. Me and Mike were fucking throating dogs. We were in there. We ate
Oh,
a
that
lot.
first dog?
We
Remember
ate.
that first
Oh,
dog?
you
We went
destroyed
crazy
that.
on
We
first
were
dog,
we
you and
were
I.
the glizzy
We were going
gladiators,
bite
bro.
for bite. We
We
were
were going-
passing it
we were
back
going
and
bite
forth.
for bite
We
with
were
the San Puerto
sharing
Rico.
the wiener.
Oh, dude, we were sharing that wiener. We loved it.
Let's jump in and let's finish today's Gamescast with some super chats coming from you, the incredible best friend audience out there on YouTube and on Twitch. MJ or M Junior Monkey writes in and says,
Whoa.
y'all got to watch the Death Stranding 2 trailer now since you've experienced the first game. We also have another YouTube membership from Mr. Monkey saying, watch that Death Stranding 2
Hell yeah.
trailer. We will. We'll make that a separate piece of content sometime between now and Death Stranding 2. Me and Roger will sit down and kind of go frame by frame.
love it.
We should probably do it sooner than later before I forget everything because,
Yeah,
you know,
but Dead Wife
got a lot
themes.
going
We'll
on.
figure it out.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, we do have a super
Big
chat
themes.
coming in from Ricardo Gonzalez, who says, Mike, what about those themes of Dead Wife?
Oh, dude.
A lot of themes in this game. Okay, a lot of themes in this game. And now that we can spoil it, themes. Okay. Thank you to CJ Split
We
Sign.
were trying to do the zoom, and he's like, I'm
I thought he was gonna go like
Thank you to CJ Split Sign. He
longer
writes in and
thing.
says, Mike, is that shirt a large or an XL? I'm happy to report
Great
that
call.
this shirt is an XL. Okay. It's got more of the boxier fit, so I think it hides the gut pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, but I'm not double XL yet.
Yeah.
But the question will be tomorrow when I wear the other T-shirts.
Oh, you're gonna wear
that
the
are
other...
not boxy.
Oh.
Will it be? Oh,
Gotcha.
Mike, you need a double XL on those because this is the new boxy look. All the kids like.
I
the
like
boxy
the boxy
looks,
look.
right?
Yeah.
I don't like the boxy look that much, but also I'm just looking for a comfortable T-shirt. That's
You don't
not
like the boxy look.
sucking in my gut because my gut's so big. How did I get so big? Is when somebody took
we
a
learned
line from.
yesterday that he has a double gut. He has a double bump above his big belly.
Right here, feel
Yeah.
that, and also my belly's cold.
Um,
You feel that right there? No, right there. You see, like, isn't that crazy?
You might wanna
that'd
get
be
that
hurting.
It's like if I
Sure.
take my T-shirt off, there's something protruding out of here. It's like the alien coming out of somebody's belly. You know what I mean? It's like, oh shit, is something gonna pop out of stomach Mike's belly? Be careful. You know what I mean?
And then it's very cold. The top of the tip of your belly.
Yes,
Very
yes,
cold.
yes. Very cold.
Pregnant, Jace the Drone says. Congratulations.
Watch out! It's a tumor. It could be a tumor. Cal writes in, aka Kebab, says, Mike, what are your thoughts after yesterday now that you finally completed the epic journey of Luigi's Mansion 3? Ah, great game. Great game. Go
Great
play
game.
it. I love that game so much. Thank you, Cal. And then finally, Cameron Abbott, aka Reverend Cam Abbott, writes in and says, Roger never did the deliveries to find out he was your client on multiple occasions. Really great reveal towards the end.
Oh.
Now show me them yams, Mike. So, Roger, you got some fun side content to do
yeah.
if you want to
And I
jump
can
in.
continue the
Cameron
before
was,
number 2.
followed up with that saying that was about Higgs.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
You'll see Higgs kind of being your client. a couple
Surprised that
times.
there's no like New Game Plus. I would have loved a New Game Plus. I hope that's in the sequel.
Oh, yeah, that should be
Yeah,
New Game
there-
Plus. Like, jump
I
back.
like you're just.
Well, a lot of people are saying it could be a hernia. I don't know what a hernia is. I'll look that
You're
up.
just fingering it.
Well, it's like you got to feel it. You know?
Go to a doctor.
Nah, he's just fingering it. He's just having a good time.
I'm freaking it, Rod.
He's freaking it right
we-
now,
Do
bro.
you think there's something? Sorry, just to get away from this conversation. With New Game Plus, do you
Yeah.
think because of the nature of the like strand shit, like do you think
Oh.
that like gets in the way of?
Yeah, but
a
I
thought
just
had.
want the zip lines from the beginning, right? I wanted to be
Yeah.
able to just start making shit and
Right from
start
the rip.
building- Yeah, it's,
I
go
want to be
crazy
put
with it.
back into my world after everything.
Well, you can continue the game,
And I just want to run and
Yes.
build and then do some side
which is what I
quests.
will do.
That's
Yeah, but I
great.
wish
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
like a full New Game Plus because I would like to kind of do everything in order and kind of go like that.
Cupcake Bliss writes in right before I was going to end the show and says, how do you guys feel about the scenes between Sam Bridges and Cliff at the end of the game and Die Hardman and Cliff versus Cliff?
Oh, I love that stuff. Yeah,
I thought all of it was very good.
yeah, the Die Hard Man stuff, especially when you think back to because they have the emotional moment and then they kind of like go back to it and like explain really why that's so emotional later on, like right afterwards. So I at first I was confused, like he's acting really well, like this Die Hard Man, the actor, I forget his name, but he's incredible. But I was like, okay, well, why is he so emotional right now? And then they fully do the reveal of like, here's exactly why. Like, let me show you that moment again.
I like throughout as Dead Man pulls you aside and Heartman go like, hey, we don't know where this guy stands. He
Yeah.
could be evil and like everybody's always watching because you're connected. And so it's like, let's keep an eye on this. And then we find out the backstory of like, oh no, this guy's just ride or die. And like he's lost a lot of people that he cares about, but also like he's going through some things.
Yeah,
like
no, and
that.
I think that's kind of like the core of the game, which I think is interesting. Is like there of course Higgs is a bad guy, but he also I'm sure he has a lot of fucking trauma and
Yeah.
everything. We're gonna get into the next game, right? Like Amelie is not necessarily a bad person or like the bad guy of this game, right? She is a sort of a redeemable character because that's kind of what her whole mission is. Right?
She's trying to hold off.
Yeah,
the
she's trying to hold
apocalypse,
off, and
the
she
extinction.
that you know that is literally her purpose on this planet is to blow it up, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like bucking destiny. So yeah, I was happy that there wasn't like, oh, Die Hard Man is the secret villain of the game, right? Like that was kind of like elevating everything else.
Yeah, I liked Die Hardman and Cliff. I thought that was really cool. And then I mean the crazy Kojima stuff, the over the top action movie stuff of like, you got 5 minutes. I did my best to like help you. Nobody's listening. Like you got to get out of here with this baby. And yeah, all of that scene was super dope.
So good.
I liked Sam Porter Bridges with Cliff. I love that reveal of Roger getting it, but then also, yeah, we have to go sideways for about 15 minutes before we go back to the full reveal.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, all the scenes with Mads is wild,
So
right?
good.
Like every time he connects and he's the BB is so much fun. I love that. Cupcake Bliss writes in again one more time and says, do you think we'll get more Higgs in story
Oh,
in
for sure.
Death Stranding 2?
I'm excited to break down those trailers and look that deep into that. Also, shout out to Red Hudson right there.
Let's
Appreciate
finish it off. Read it, Roger, to finish off this
Snowbike
episode.
Mike and Roger are goats. These streams were an absolute blast. Thank you both. Bring back the hashtag YamCam for DS2. We have some exciting ideas to elevate it and really elevate the YamCam and also elevate you ordering food because we're going to try to eat healthy for the next one. But also, if Chili sponsors us, we won't.
Never know what could
We don't
happen.
give a shit.
Of
They're
course,
gonna, either way, you guys are gonna freak it.
We're going to
We're
freak
gonna
it,
freak
bro.
it.
And that's
Thank
what
you,
that's what
Barrett.
it's all about, bro. Come on.
Kind of funny, best friends. Thank you for joining us on today's Gamescast, where we look back on our Death Stranding experience here in 2025. Roger gave it a score, but most importantly, we got to relive the fun moments with all of you and talk about a game that is just wild and exciting. And we'll get a sequel next month. So hopefully we'll all be talking about it in June with all of you, because this has been Kind of Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we run you through the fun, nerdy news you need to know about, into awesome game discussions, reviews, topics, opinion pieces, and more here on Kind of Funny. And after this, we have a stream going on. Greg is going to jump into the Outer Worlds for the big re-review coming up soon with Greg, Stella, and Andy. So jump into that. Tell Greg what you think about the game, what you should be talking about for the re-review, and thank you for your time and your day. Have a wonderful one. Goodbye, everyone.